Hey guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, I will be sharing things or 5 things I wish I knew about motherhood, about childbirth, about having a baby, about being a mom, and these things are could be because they are not talked about as often. Some of them are because they're not talked about as often. Some of them are because maybe I heard them and thought, God forbid it will not happen to me, or never really gave much thought to it. And some are because I've just never heard about it before. Maybe some moms do not know about them, so they can't even tell other moms, right? So in my usual fashion of sharing my tips and insights based on my experiences to help you if you're a new mom or a first-time mom, even an experienced mom who wants to get more information on to help your motherhood journey, right? In my usual fashion, I'm sharing this video. If you're new on my channel and you do not know me, welcome. I am the mom to a beautiful 9-week-old baby girl. Her name is LaCie. If you're a regular on my channel, then you've probably seen her here. I will leave a link to a playlist that talks about everything like pregnancy and motherhood so that you can also gain 1 or 2 things from those videos, and I'll leave a link above. All right, so five things I wish I knew about motherhood, about postpartum, about childbirth, about child delivery, about having a baby. The first one is the pressure.
The pressure is getting worse.
On a serious note, the pressure that comes with motherhood is unbeatable, right? It is indescribable, it's unbelievable, it's a lot, right? So there's a lot of, the pressure starts first from the moment your baby is out. So whether it's vaginal birth or CS or however you've had your baby, right? The moment your baby comes forth, the pressure starts. If you remember, what's one of the first things that happen when you have your baby? That's if your baby is not isn't compromised and has to be given immediate medical care or urgent care. What's the first thing that happens? You put the baby on your breast, right? So there's that pressure that comes already with feeding your baby, you guys. So there's a pressure to lactate, and if you're unlucky, or if you're unlucky like me, and your breast milk didn't come immediately, then you know that the pressure is even keeps going. In fact, the pressure increases as the days go by. Because for every time a medical personnel or practitioner, for every time a medical personnel steps into your room, the question is, are you lactating yet? If you're not lactating yet, are you putting your baby to the breast? And breastfeeding is tasking, right? So you have the contractions that come when you're breastfeeding, because your uterus is shrinking and going back to its original position. You have sometimes, if you're unlucky again like me and your baby is not latching correctly, then you are battling with sore nipples and, God forbid, cracked nipples, right? There's also the psychological part, of just trying to adjust to the fact that I just had a baby, right? And still having to breastfeed and take care of a baby with all of that changes, or with all of the changes that you're trying to process in your head, right? So there's all of that pressure. There's a pressure to heal, right? Again, if you're unlucky like me and healing is taking longer than you envisaged, then that can feel a bit overwhelming. So I'm 9 weeks postpartum, right? And unfortunately, I still haven't healed like 100%, right? Because I had a second-degree tear, and for whatever reason, my body is just taking a bit more time than I thought to heal, right? Some people are lucky and they do not tear at all, right? While pushing their baby out. Some people have like maybe just a first-degree tear and you not even have to get stitches. Some people get worse and have like third-degree, fourth-degree tears, and it is major, right? It is just very down there, right? So wherever you fall on the spectrum, you know that it can be overwhelming. And because our bodies are different, right? Because our bodies are different, even someone else that had maybe like a same second degree tear may have healed faster than I did, or may even heal slower than I am doing, right? But the key is to not compare yourself. I'll talk about that in another point, but the key is to not compare yourself. Well, there's that pressure to heal, because even right then in the hospital, I was getting things like, oh, other people that gave birth, vaginal birth the same day with you didn't even tear. Why are you telling me that? Like, why are you telling me that? Or, other remarks, even outside the hospital, like, oh, why are you still not working well? Why are you limping? You should have healed by now. Even people that had CS, would have healed by now. All those comments like that. The bad side, right, to those comments, receiving those comments, which those people that have passed those comments may not be aware of, for me, is that it now made me put extra pressure on myself. So I already had the pressure of taking care of the newborn and taking care of myself and making sure that the baby has enough to eat and my mental state is all right and I'm doing well physically and emotionally. There's now the pressure to be strong. Now, what do I mean? Now, because I'm having people say things like, why are you not working properly yet? Or it's 6 weeks, it's 7 weeks, it's 8 weeks, you should have healed completely, right? Even when I'm in pain, I don't speak up, right? And I'm putting a lot of physical pressure on myself, physical stress. So when we have visitors, for instance, or anyone coming to the house, instead of staying in one place and letting people do things for me, I'm walking up and down, I'm going up and down the stairs, I'm going to the kitchen, I'm trying to serve, I'm trying to laugh and just with people, and just hiding the pain that I am in, right? And further slowing down my healing process, because the more I'm working, right, I'm not giving that place time to rest and heal. So I'm putting extra pressure and stress and strain on that place, right? But this is because I've had comments, thrown at me as if I've just sat down and said, oh yeah, oh, I have decided that it's going to take me 1 year to heal. So I'm going to make my healing process slow. I mean, it's not, I honestly have no control over it, right? Left to me, I should have healed like first week, that week I gave birth. That was my prayer, that was my plan. But for whatever reason, it is taking time. My body is taking time to heal. To the best of my knowledge, I'm doing everything that my doctor is saying I should do. I've done the sits bath. That was even putting more pressure on that place because there's a way you have to sit and just put more pressure on that place. I'm applying gentamicin, take a lot of vitamin C and fruits and eat vegetables. I'm doing that, so I'm as much as possible, I'm doing what I'm being told to do. But for whatever reason, that place is taking time to heal. All right. Another pressure is a pressure to snap back. So everybody, expects that your tummy should have gone in completely and be completely flat. Because of that, now, even if no one has told you personally or specifically, because of the view, because of societal views or expectations of women, we are in a hurry to go back to our pre-baby size, right? And there's this obsession with, losing weight fast or quickly, and tying ourselves. I mean, there's nothing wrong with time, but let it be for your own well-being and not because you want to snap back, for society to say, oh my God, you snapped back quickly, right? But unfortunately, there's that pressure that is there. And sometimes I have bowed to that pressure, I've caught myself, just being obsessed with, oh my goodness, I'm back to my pre-baby body or even slimmer than how I was. When I went for the first courses, no, it wasn't courses first appointment. When I went to the hospital for the doctor to check to be sure that I was recovering well, and I took my measurements or my weight rather, I saw that I was lighter than I was even before I was pregnant, and I was so excited. So it's that pressure of snapping back, that unconsciously made me that excited. I mean, of course, I'm happy about losing weight, but I was so excited that I had lost so much weight that I was even lighter than I was before I got pregnant. So I am editing this video and thought it was very, very important to add this, which is, just letting you know if you're one of those who put pressure on new moms to snap back to their pre-baby bodies or to lose the baby weight or baby fat or to look trim, right? I just want to let you know one of the consequences of your remarks, which is that it also affects the baby's health. And how does this happen? Now, right, whether you're a mom or not, whether you're a breastfeeding mom or not, you should know that what we eat, right, our diet, eating in general, affects or has an influence, right, on our breast milk supply. So when you're putting pressure on a new mom, right, to lose weight and to snap back and to look trim, and comparing her to another new mom, who just had a baby and is looking fit and trim and, all of that, then what you're doing is you are making the mom concentrate more on losing weight, on snapping back, than on nourishing and feeding her baby, right? So it's one of two things. It's either one, the mom doesn't even want to breastfeed at all because maybe she doesn't want her boobs to fall and she wants to look as good as she did before she had a baby, and she doesn't want to add weight because there's this common notion that breastfeeding will make you add weight because it will make you eat and eat and eat because you're always hungry because you're breastfeeding. There's that, right? So either the new mom is scared of breastfeeding, or two, she is not eating as good as she should, right? Because she doesn't want to put on weight. She's trying to lose the weight she has already gained while she was pregnant. And that in turn affects the breast milk supply. And once the breast milk supply is affected, baby is also affected because baby is not feeding as well as he or she should. So if you're one of those putting pressure on a new mom to snap back, stop it. There's also the pressure to take care of your partner, to take care of the home while taking care of your newborn. And all of those things can mess with your mind, right? So the summary is the pressure is real, right? So it's important to know this so that when you start feeling it, then you know what is happening and then you find ways to deal with it. And what are the ways to deal with it? My own way of dealing with the pressure is one, either ignoring or not paying too much attention to the things or remarks that are being thrown at me, or two, if I can, cutting communication with people that I believe are putting me under pressure. I remember there was a time I was talking with some people, I'm just generally asking about, how it feels to be a mom. And I was talking about, how, the first few weeks were this and breastfeeding was a chore and I had to, give her formula. And immediately, these women are like, no, you don't even know why I was giving my baby formula. No, you don't even know why I was supplementing breast milk with formula for that first week. So there's already that judgment of, don't give your formula, make sure you breastfeed. In fact, apart from make sure you breastfeed, are you doing exclusive? It's a lot. The pressure is a lot. All right. So that's one. The second is postpartum blues, postpartum depression is real. There's a third category I just can't remember, but I'll leave a link to an article that I read about these, right? So that you can also get familiar with it. And why I'm quoting this article, right? There are a lot of articles, but the reason I'm quoting this article is because it is the first article I saw that sort of listed signs or signals under each of these mood disorders, right? So these are common mood disorders that happen to new moms, especially first time moms, not just first time, to new moms, right? So there's postpartum blues, there's postpartum depression, and there's the extreme one I cannot remember, but again, I'll leave a link to the article in the description box so you can read up. Please understand that this can happen to anybody, no matter how prepared you are, no matter how much you've read about it, no matter how religious you are, no matter how Christian or Muslim you are, it can happen to anybody. And it's also very important to note that the fact that you have one form of mood disorder or the other doesn't mean that you hate your baby, right? It's just, that feeling of overwhelm. There's a lot that has happened to your body and your mind. Your body and your mind have gone through a significant shift. You've given birth to a baby, you're responsible for a baby. There's a lot of pressure to do a lot of things, like I said, to snap back, to heal, to build your stash, to breastfeed and not give formula, to take care of yourself and your partner and your home. There's a lot of things. Your life would change no matter how much you try to fight it. Take for instance, right? I couldn't film a YouTube video for last week. So last week there was no video on my channel. No video went up on my YouTube channel. And this is not because I did not have any video to film. My content calendar is full from now to the end of the year. And I also have even some videos for 2023, right? So I have videos to film. So in fact, this video was the video that I was supposed to film for last week. And I already had my script ready. I already had an idea of what my thumbnail will look like, but I just couldn't film, right? Because Kosi just decided last week to be very needy. That's the phase we're at, right? So she wants to be on my body 24/7, right? Even when she's crying and someone else tries to carry her, she may not stop till I personally carry her. When she's sleeping and she sleeps up on my body and I'm trying to put her in her crib or on our bed, she wakes up and she starts crying till I pick her up and put her back on my body, right? So because that is happening, sometimes I cannot do things that I need to do. So all of these things can contribute to feeling a certain type of way, but please understand that you do not hate your baby. It doesn't mean that you hate your baby. It doesn't mean that you dislike your baby. However, if you start to notice the signs or notice signs of either anger or sadness towards your baby, or certain feelings that you should not be feeling towards yourself or towards your baby, again, please go through the article that I'm going to link in the description box. Get yourself familiar with the signs of these 3 categories of mood disorders for new moms, and seek help, whatever help looks like to you. So that help is talking to your partner or letting your thoughts known to your partner so they know what you're going through and can step in to help. or whether it's unfortunately we're not very big on therapy here in Nigeria. I'm a creator based in Lagos, Nigeria. Unfortunately, we're not very big on therapy here. But if therapy is your thing, if you have a therapist, then if that's what help looks like to you, then maybe speak to your therapist. If it is confiding in maybe a fellow mom, trying to find out what her experience has been and how she navigated certain things, so that maybe you can get one or two things or one or two tips from her experiences, then you do that. If help to you looks like talking to God or leaning on the strength that comes from God, which is what I do most of the time, then you do that. But whatever help looks like to you, then please get it once you start to notice the signs of any of these mood disorders. Again, this can happen to anyone, no matter how prepared you think you are. Now, third is sleep is a luxury. Now, to be fair, to be honest, I had people tell me this while I was pregnant. So times when I was pregnant and people would call or chat me up and I'm like, oh, all I've been doing is sleeping, or oh my God, I'm usually just so sleepy, or all I've done today is sleep. I've just been sleeping anyhow this week. People will tell me things like, oh, sleep now, enjoy it now, because when the baby comes, there's no more sleep. I usually thought those things were exaggerations, right? Because how stressful can a baby be that you would not sleep? But it can happen. Right, it can happen. For the first few weeks when we brought Kosi home from the hospital, we were barely sleeping. Myself and my husband were barely sleeping because she was always crying. We couldn't figure out what was happening, so it was just a lot. It was just a lot. She was crying during the day, she was crying at night, mostly at night, right? Because we're new parents, we didn't understand what was happening, but later on we discovered that she was very gassy, right? And so that was disturbing her because we noticed that she would squirm and she would twist and arch her back and all of that. So you could tell that she was very uncomfortable. Something was making her very uncomfortable. And we would do things that we could. Maybe we would change her diaper, feed her, give her a bath. And she's still crying. Give her the pacifier, she's still crying. It was just clear that there was something else beyond our control, right? Thankfully, we've been able to adjust a bit more. So, for instance, things I've been able to do, I changed her feeding bottles. I was using regular feeding bottles and now I've changed and started using anti-colic bottles. I have reduced bottle feeds and I'm giving her more from the breast, directly from the breast, right? So I'm still pumping and keeping for future uses, but I've limited bottle feeds to once or twice a day, right? And this is mostly at night so that I'm sure that she has eaten well, right? And so that will make her sleep, right? But it's more of breast milk again, so that I'm sure that she's not swallowing a lot of air when she's sucking from the bottle or whatever it is, right? So thankfully we've been able to manage that. But imagine, where we couldn't, right? Or imagine, oh my God, you guys need to say a special prayer for parents that have colicky babies or babies that have colic, right? If you don't know what colic is, so colic is a condition where, so I think it's 333, right? So a baby cries for more than 3 hours in 3 days for 3 weeks, right? And usually lasts for about 3 months, right? For some babies, 6 months. For some can last as much as 9 months or as long as 9 months. But most times, by the time they are like 3 months, 4 months, they outgrow that, and because they're moving more, so they can get gas out of their system, and they're not as colicky as they would be when they were newborn. All right. So, there's all of that. Like I said, the phase I'm at with Kosi, where she just wants to be on my body 24/7. She wants me carrying her. She wants to sleep on my body. I'm even lucky that today she's sleeping and I can film this video, or like the past 2 weeks where I haven't been able to do that. All of that stuff. So sleep really is a luxury, right? There are times, so because of that, whenever sleep comes, I take it. So if you've ever called me and I did not pick, right, even when you thought I should have picked, then I was probably sleeping, right, or just resting, or just not wanting to attend to anybody but myself, right? There was a time where I needed to film a YouTube video. Okay, yes, I wanted to do the behind the scenes of Kosi's 2-month-old shoot, right? I was so excited about it, but the day I wanted to film, you guys, was one of the days where Kosi just was independent and was sleeping well. And as God will have it, I was also very stressed that day. And I was just like, you know what? I'm not going to do it behind the scenes. I'm going to sleep and rest as much as I can. So sleep is a luxury so much that when you get the opportunity to sleep, you just want to take it, right? And you have to take it. Better still, get help when you can when you need it, so that you have time for yourself and you have time to rest, because only a well-rested mother can take care of her baby. Only a well-rested mother can take care of her partner. Only a well-rested mother can take care of herself and her home. Your mental health is extremely important. Now, this brings me to my fourth point, which is healing time. I mean, I've talked a bit about this in, I think, the first and second point, but healing time is relative. You guys, please do not put a timeline to how fast you should heal, right? Because that in turn puts you under pressure. Unfortunately for me, I had people compare my healing to that of other moms. Even when I would in response say things like, our bodies are different, you can't compare me. I mean, nobody has done a research on all new moms to know that this is the standard healing time. All right, our bodies are different. The same way we carry our pregnancies differently, the same way we would heal differently, right? Even if we both had, or even if you had the same degree of tear with another mom, right? Your bodies are different, and it's important to understand this so that you do not put extra strain and stress on your body, right? So be kind to your body, be gentle with your body, and know that you would heal with time, as long as you're doing all that you need to do, right? As long as you're taking your drugs that your doctor and your hospital have given you, you're taking care of yourself the way you've been asked to, you're eating right, so that you further promote or enhance your healing process. But please do not put, there is no, like I said, no one has done a research on every single mom. I mean, any research that has been done is done by percentage to represent the whole, right? So nobody has ever interviewed all moms in the world or in the universe to know that there's a standard time for healing. I mean, there are common time frames, but there are always exceptions, and you unluckily may be the exception. So please understand that and be kinder and nicer to your body. Like I said, because of those comparisons, because of remarks that I got thrown at me, I would strain and stress myself more than I should, and I would not speak up when I'm in pain. So when we have visitors, I mean, anyone that comes to visit probably be like, oh my God, just had a baby and you're so strong, you're already moving about. But you do not know that when everyone has gone, right, and I'm behind closed doors in my room, I'm crying and I'm wincing because I'm in pain, or I'm being sad and I'm just like, oh my God, why am I not healing as quickly as I thought I would? I need to heal, I'm in pain, I'm probably not working well. I'm disguising when people are around because I want people to believe that, I have healed, and I want to heal. That there are times where I wake up and I'm like, oh my goodness, I am healing so well. And in fact, because of the trajectory, I'm able to say, oh, by next week I should have healed fully. Only for me to wake up like the next 2 or 3 days and it feels like I have a fresh tear and I'm like in fresh pain. It's not the same for everyone. Some people heal and heal quickly and nicely. For some other people, it takes time. So please understand this. Be nicer and gentler to your body. Do the things that you need to do, but also understand that your body would heal with time. It will happen eventually. All right? It will happen eventually. Now, the fifth or the last point is that you will need all the help and support that you can get, whether this is in form of getting a nanny or getting someone that comes in, to help out on two things, whether it's coming to clean, just anyone that can help you get some things off your plate, you will need it. I am lucky enough to have 3 people helping me. So I have my husband, who is very helpful. So when he comes back from work at night, he takes custody of my hands. If he can give her a bath, if I'm too tired to give her a bath, he will give her a bath. If I'm too tired to breastfeed her and I have like pumped milk readily available, he would feed her with the feeding bottle. If she's crying, he would carry her and rock her and play with her. You should see when he plays with her. It is so adorable. So I have that. I also have my sister who is around, so who can help when she's not very busy at work. She works from home. It's a hybrid system where she goes in sometimes to the office and works from home sometimes. So the times that she's working from home and she doesn't have a lot on her plate, or maybe it's past 5 p.m. or past 6 p.m. where it's the time where all work should stop, she's able to help out, right? So when I give Kosi a bath and I've fed her and she's fussy and needs body contact, but I need to do something, then my sister can step in to help to carry her and soothe her and play with her, so that she can sleep. Or if she needs to be changed and I'm doing something I can't change her at the moment, my sister can step in to change her. I know there's that help. And in addition, lastly, I have my mom who comes in every 2 weeks, right? So she works. I wasn't lucky enough to have my mom stay for an extended period of time, so maybe like 3 months or 6 months, like some new moms are lucky enough to have. right? The reason is because my mom works a 9 to 5, so of course she had to go back to work. So she was able to stay for 1 month at a stretch. But then what she's now doing, because thankfully she's in the same city with me, she's in Lagos and I'm in Lagos, she comes every 2 weeks, right? Weekends rather. So she'll come on Friday and stay till Sunday. So within that time, she's also taking custody of my hands when she can. She's making sure that there's food, so cooking and stocking up the freezer. You guys should see the freezer whenever she comes. It's usually just full, and my husband is like, "What is happening here?" So she's cooking and making sure that I don't need to cook fresh meals every time I need to eat, which is very important. Just generally helping, being in the house to be a form of support. All right, so I am lucky enough to have these 3 people, right? And guess what? I still feel overwhelmed sometimes. So imagine not having any help. Right, so there's an adage in Igbo language, and I think in other languages, unfortunately, I can't say it in Igbo, but the translation is that, you do not use suffering to boast, right? So if you need help, if you need help, please ask for it or seek for it, right? I know that the society puts pressure on us to be like super women and super moms and strong women and strong mom because our moms did it, right? So you're doing everything, you're breaking your back, you're there for everyone else but yourself, you're taking care of everyone. Meanwhile, you are deteriorating, whether emotionally or mentally or physically. Please don't let that happen, right? If you can get help, if you can afford to get help, maybe like a living nanny or help, please do that. If you need help in form of like your partner or a relative, then please speak out. I know that there are times or there are conditions where it's not very necessary. For instance, those that live abroad, right? Maybe getting the help is expensive, but there should be a way. There should be a way to either automate something, a part of your process, or make a part of your process easier, so that you have your entire motherhood journey easier for you, especially for those first few months. They are critical. You do not want your mood to be so messed up. My aunt called yesterday, right? And she just wanted to find out how I felt or how I was doing with taking care of Kosi and just managing. And one of the things she asked was, do you have a help? Do you have a nanny? Right? And I currently do not, right? I know that may sound counterintuitive. I don't know if that's a correct word. Seeing that I'm saying get all the help you want and I don't have a nanny, right? But I told her why I didn't have a nanny. So I told her I do not have a nanny. I told her why I didn't have a nanny. And she listened and she was like, oh, that's fantastic. If you think you're coping well, right? Because there's only so much help you can get from your husband and your sister, seeing as they're working, right? And we need to concentrate at work, right? So if you feel like you've gotten to the point where you can leave your baby, right, and not want to touch her, or you're feeling some sort of sadness or anger or resentment towards your baby, or you don't like her because you think she's stressing you too much and you're overwhelmed, then ask for help. That was what she said, and that's what I'm going to say to you too. So if you feel like you can do it alone, fantastic. But when you start getting to a point, again, to point number 2, which is talking about like postpartum blues and depression and all those mood disorders, right? If you've gotten to a point where you're getting to a point where you look at your baby and you feel some sort of resentment or anger or sadness, or you just don't want to touch your baby, or you don't want your baby to touch you, or you feel, very, very stressed, then please speak out and ask for help, because you will need help. You also need a partner who you can be vulnerable with, whether it's a partner or a relative. You need someone that you can be vulnerable with, not just emotionally, but even physically, because if you're like me and your healing is taking time and you may need to do some extra things to make sure that you heal properly there, you may need someone to help you to do some things down there. All right, so it helps if you have someone that you can be vulnerable with, because you will have to be vulnerable sometimes. And I think one of the worst things that can happen is to not have someone to be vulnerable with. All right, so these are the things that I wished that I was told about motherhood, and so I'm telling you so that you can be well prepared, right? And that's it, and I'll see you in my next video, guys. So till then, stay safe, stay fabulous, stay blessed, and goodbye.